session, guys. Like we are continuously supporting the startups to take the startups for the delegation programs and our kind of activities carried out by Kerala Startup Mission to support the Kerala startup ecosystem. And this is one of the main achievements. We are continuously supporting the startups. And in accordance with that, I think this session would be really beneficial for the startups who are looking to expand their business to the UK market. And we have a distinguished panelist, Robin and Hermachis. Welcome, Robin and Hermer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to give an intro regarding Robin and Hermer. Robin actually, he's a TED speaker and also a digital technology strategist, TCS, with a Stanford University background, and also have a very good experience in the UK market. Also have what are the trends going on and what are the current activities carried out in the startup ecosystem. I think he knows better well in the UK market expansions of the startups. And welcome, Robin, as a
Thank you, Aghosh.
as a speaker for this program.
Thank you.
And we're going to Hermer. I think he has already 14 plus years of experience, and he's the CEO of Mentor Merlin UK Limited. And also he has also a good experience in the UK market and better know how we can scale the startups in that ecosystem. Definitely, this program will definitely help the startups to get their queries answered and get a good idea how they have to frame their ideas and to expand their products to the UK market. And I think we can start the session with Robin and Hermer. Over to you.
Thank you, Aghosh. I believe you are able to hear us.
Yeah.
Is it clear? Because it's very raining outside. That's why I just wanted to.
I think you are audible. You are perfectly audible.
Okay, sure. Wonderful. So thank you so much, Startup Mission, Aghosh, Varun, for inviting us. So myself, Robin, and we have Hermer here. So just to give a background on, you might be thinking why these guys are here and explaining about the UK market. Even though my entry to the UK market is like, if you ask me, it's just 8 to 9 months old, rather than I'm not a very veteran in the system of the UK startup ecosystem or even in the UK entrepreneurial ecosystem. But Hermer has been for years. I would say he has been there for more than 8 years. He's going to give you a lot of insights on that. And we met in UK, and we have done several things which we will be explaining how we have done it and what is the change that we could bring in from the perspective of what we were thinking and stuff. So before we start with the explaining you about the UK market, because I think we can give you some insights about the UK market, because we are not the, if you ask me, Hermer has more expertise in that segment. My expertise is in setting up research and how things are going. So let me give you how I went to UK and what all things were done from the story which I myself was a part of. So so it was like in March 2022, I was asked by Tata Consultancy Services to start a passport facility in the United Kingdom. So passport is a brand of Tata Group as well as Tata Consultancy Services specifically for innovation. So we already have passports across multiple countries in the world. If you ask me, it was first established in the US market. We started it in the New York, and later on we established it to the Carnegie Mellon University. Then slowly we have started expanding our reach in the US. Then we established our passports, which is again, as I told you, it's an innovation kind of a engine for TCS, where customers come, they sit with us and do the innovation journey. Then we started expanding the passport journey in other parts of the world. It was Amsterdam. Then we expanded it to France. Then we have PACE brands in the Southeast Asia, including Singapore. Then we went into Australia. So that's how we have been expanding, and that's how we have been trying to reach the larger market, or I would say TCS was trying to reach the larger market. Now, soon after that, when this request came in that we wanted to establish in London, it was a bit slow because we have been planning to establish a spaceport in London for the past 3 years, or more than 3 years, I would say. So in 2022 March, when this request came in, since I was heading one of the research labs in India, which is called the Rapid Labs. So that's how I was asked to travel. Now, when I started looking for the visa, because TCS sponsors the entire travel, so during that period of time, I was looking for multiple visa. TCS gives a visa called ICT. Most of you might know what is ICT visa. It's called the intercompany transfer. So the visa is like just transferring one employee from India to UK. That seemed to be a very a non-standard visa, which I felt, because if you travel on that visa, you are actually locked to a company and you cannot do anything else. You are only the part of that particular company. And there is a lot of issues with the visa, and it is not counted towards your, if you are looking for a PR or if you are looking for bringing your family, there is a lot of issues. When TCS says tomorrow that, okay, you have to go back on the next day, you have to come back because you don't have a proper base in UK because of the visa. So the first thing I started looking for is what is the proper visa that I can apply individually and look for this opportunity. So that is where I came across one of the visa, which is called the Global Talent Visa. So the Global Talent Visa is a that's the time I got one invitation in LinkedIn from the Global Talent team of UK. Then I saw, okay, this is an interesting. I thought initially it was a scam, but then just when I started reading about it, I found that, okay, it is interesting. And then some of the solicitors, I had to approach some of the immigration solicitors in UK to understand whether this is a genuine category or not. Because for any visa, careful on um, what happened is that I applied that visa in the month of August, September in 2022. And there are two phases for this visa. I'm just giving you the insight on how the visa process happened. So the first phase of the visa was understanding, or I would say going, understanding what is the possibilities of getting this visa. Now, for this visa, you need a lot of recommendation. This is similar to the O1 category or the EB1 category of visa in US. That is the type of visa. So, and then I started collecting some documentations and what is the achievements and all those kind of activities. Then this I submitted it for verification. So there is affiliation that you have to first get from the for the talent visa. So within 2 to 3 weeks time, I got that affiliation. Then the next step was to go ahead and submit for the visa stamping process, which you don't know whether you'll get it or not. So by December 2022, I submitted that application, and by Jan end, I got the response. I think February first week, I got the response saying that I have been granted the visa for talent category for 5 years. Per year, I had to pay almost like, I would say, 650 pound, which is almost like 75,000 here. So I applied it for 4 years. No, it's a total tenure is 10 years, but I applied it for 4 years. So that individually I have contributed for that visa, and I have taken this visa, and using this visa in TCS, I started my travel journey. And in last June, I had traveled to UK for setting up the passport and being a part of that PACE team in UK. So that is the entire journey for me going to UK. So the type of visa and how I reached UK. And the next step, if you ask me what I've been doing in UK is when I went there, since it's a global talent visa, I can work on multiple activities. There is no restriction on the kind of work I'm doing or on the kind of activities I'm doing. So that is when I met Hermer, and we started a firm, because at least some of you might be knowing I have multiple startups, but one of the major activities I do here is Inclusive Org Foundation, which is also having a startup which is called Inclusive Neuro Org in India. So which is specifically, or I would say it's registered under Kerala Startup Mission with the support of the startup authorities here. So which is specifically concentrating on assistive and rehabilitation technology, livelihood creation for people with intellectual disability. So that passion has been there for me. So when I went there, I started looking for opportunities in this area. So I've been traveling in and around. It's very difficult to get into the initially. It's not that easy as we think getting into the UK market. I started discussing with people. I started going to some of the councils nearby. So now that is how I'll explain you what is overall how it looks like, the council looks like and stuff. So I just started understanding the market. That is where I started understanding how the entire ecosystem of special education looks like in the UK market and how they are. So they are all admitted in the normal schools there. The education system is completely sponsored by the UK government. And then we started meeting some of the people in and around who makes decisions in this, especially there is each and every place has a council, like the municipality here. There it is called councils, and councils actually are taking care of the education, taking care of the waste management and all those kind of things inside a particular area. So if, for example, here it might be kind of a panchayat, but their council owns more power, and the council has to make sure the waste is taken care properly, and the council has to make sure the entire education system, healthcare system is all under them, and it is all evaluated, and based on that system works, and that is the funding that they get there. That's how a system works in UK. Now that several meetings happened and I started understanding what is the possibilities there. I also was trying to understand what is the major burning problems in UK, because then we found that there is a lot of issues with elderly population, health related innovations and stuff. We then opened Inclusus NeuroOrg in UK. So Harmer is one of my partners in that. So that's how now Inclusus is one of the, I would say, premium startups who has been entering into this particular segment. And we got a small funding in this regard from the government of UK for the specific work that we are doing for specially abled, or we call it as a special education need childs. So this is the story how I entered into the market and I got the support from people who are there. So one of the things that we were trying to do is we are trying to understand how the market looks like, how the culture looks like, because the culture of British citizens is a bit more different from what we think from here. So it's not easy. They don't simply easily talk up or open up. And we had to break down certain barriers to understand how it looks like and how the entire system looks like. And that's how we penetrated and we started understanding how the market. So we are very early from an inclusive perspective, but we have here Hermer who has established his startup, or we don't call it as a startup there because it's all called LLCs, limited liability companies or private companies or however. So I think that information let Hermer bring up. And then we will go through what is the overall information about the UK market, and then we will open up it for questions. So this is the overall pattern we are going to do today. Over to you, Hermer.
Hi all. Thanks to Kerala Startup Mission and especially Robin for introducing me and also for the invitation. It's an honor to be here. I always wanted to be a consultant, and since 2010 onwards, and wanted to be an entrepreneur too. And my dream came true in 2020 when I saw startup visa under UK Home Office, and applied for startup UK, startup visa in 2020, and I granted. I think I was the second or third person from Kerala to get the startup visa, and it was a bit tough at that time, but I was lucky to get it. And I went there. Due to COVID, I had to extend my travel, and I reached. I got my visa in March 2020, but I reached UK in 2020, October 2020, and it was a bit difficult due to COVID times. But later in April 2021, I was able to establish my business, and it's been around more than 3 years, 3.5 years now. It is successfully established. It's called Mentor Merlin, and we are actually training international nurses for NHS and for care homes in the UK. We bought a change in the UK for this training, and it was really helpful for the NHS and also the you know the care home uh, uh, people to get registered in the UK in a very short time, and it is saving a lot of money as well in training. So it is going really well. As I said, there is a lot of challenges when we started for the first time, but we overcome that. We studied, and we analyzed the market. Then we were able to crack it, and uh, finally we were able to become the number one training center in the UK with four branches now, one in London, two in Northampton, and one is going to be in Leeds from July onwards. So, and now I'm in a stage where I want to diversify, and then I saw Robin 6 to 7 months ago, and we started a startup, Incluses. And this is what I've been doing and and still doing. And yeah, Robin, you can actually start the slides, and
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank
while
you, Harman.
going through the slides, I can explain in detail
For
with
sure.
yeah.
I think we already have some questions coming up, so you can just check that also, Herman, in between. But we will give
Yes.
the we'll keep it for final. So, guys,
Yeah.
think that look, we are explaining this from two different angles. So, anytime you feel confused, let us know, because I will be explaining from a corporate perspective plus a social enterprise which we are building. Inclusive is a social enterprise. Don't think that it is a for-profit kind of. It's a social enterprise where profit is being taken and then reinvested back to the community. So, because since the we together working here, we have a passion for supporting the neurodivergent community, and that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years, along with whatever work I am doing. So, and Hermer is one of such like-minded individuals we have met, and we started with this activity. But Hermer, Mentor Merlin is a kind of complete for-profit, and I think he has a lot of information on that where he can share how to set up a for-profit and how profit can be managed. But whereas in my case, it's more of a corporate and all those activities which I've done. So I'll just share the screen and I'll just take you through this and give you some insights. Let me see if you guys can see the screen. Just let me know.
Yes.
Okay, great. So here, on the screen, I'm just trying to show you what is the overall, I would say, are you able to see my screen? Okay. So what I'm trying to overall bring here is what is the size of UK. So you guys I just wanted to make sure that you should not get carried away by whatever that we say, but you should also be aware of what is the larger geography and what is the kind of activities that happens in UK. So if you look at the geographical size of UK, it's almost like I would call it almost like 250,000
I'm sorry,
square
Robin.
kilometers.
Sorry, Robin. I can't see the screen.
Oh, okay, one
Uh,
minute.
yeah, Robin, seems like there's some issue in sharing. Yeah.
Is it fine now?
No. Yes, but few areas are missing, it seems.
I think it's because whatever. Just let me know if now it is okay. I think this the I'll just share it once again. Give me
Yeah,
some time.
yeah,
Let
please. Okay.
me share. I'll pause my video.
Again, it is not completely visible. Few areas are.
I think that the top portion is being taken up.
Yes,
That
right.
is a problem of the zoom. The top portion comes down. No, I am trying to make sure that is
Okay, okay, okay.
going up, but it's not going up. I think in due course of time it might go
All
up.
right, all right. Yeah, yeah. So the major portion of the slide is visible now. So I think
Yeah, that's
that's
fine.
fine. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what I want.
All right, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
As you
Thank you.
see on the screen, from a startup perspective, look, the screen explains everything what how the startup ecosystem looks like, and because I just wanted to bring in a basic information to you guys to understand. Okay, what is the entire economy and what is the kind of larger size that is there in this system? Because if you look at United Kingdom, so as I told you, it's not more than 250,000 square kilometers. It is almost the same size of Karnataka, which Karnataka is almost like 200 square kilometers, 200,000 square kilometers. I would say it is more of like a bit smaller than Rajasthan. Okay, a bit larger than Karnataka and a bit smaller than Rajasthan. So you can think it's almost like Kerala is almost if you take Kerala and UK as a size, UK can accommodate up to 6 Kerala regions or the entire state into it. So that's the kind of size of UK. So from traveling from from London to if you want to travel from London to Edinburgh, because London there is majorly four states or four parts in UK, which is England, where London is located or the capital city is located. Then you will see some. You might have already heard about Wales, which is almost like I would call it as the east, southeast, southwest part of it, where you will see a lot of beautiful beaches and stuff. And Wales have their own language called Welsh. Okay, it's not very famous, but at least a lot of people speak Welsh there. And they have a lot of attachment to Welsh, like similar to the Germans having attachment to the Germany having attachment to German language. Now, there is another part of it called Northern Ireland, which is almost like the northern part of it, northern part of UK, and it is having almost similar characteristics of the Ireland country, which is neighboring to UK. And we have the one of the most beautiful parts of the world, which is the Scotland. So these are the four different regions if you look from the UK whole market perspective. And as I told you, it's not as big as whatever you think. It's just like another state of Kerala, a state of India like Karnataka. Now, if you look from the larger perspectives of what is the why, or I wouldn't say why you have to go, or just basic information like what is the startup ecosystem. So it says that it almost like 600K startups, and this is some of the reports which we have pulled to show you that this is the kind of size that they have. Now, the economic impact is almost like 196 billion. All this is from 2021, 2022 data, because latest data are not accurate as our when we were doing the research. And if you look from the perspective of the startup ecosystem, if you ask me, it's a home of almost like 30 unicorns in 2022. Okay. And it's a very vibrant ecosystem because they have a very, if you look at UK ecosystem, it's a very huge, strong governmental backing and private investment happens in UK. Now, London, specifically when you take London into account, London is one of the most or top global cities for startups, especially in the area of fintech, okay, financial technologies or anything related to banking. It is completely supported in London, and there is a lot of accelerators available, which we will see in the later stages. Now, if you compare it with India, look, India has almost like 50 unicorn startups as of 2022. And our major hubs is like Bangalore, Mumbai, Hyderabad, whereas I told you the major hub there is London. And there is a lot of startups in the space of Scotland, which is Edinburgh. And Glasgow also is coming up. That's what is from our analysis and our specific data research we could find. Then comes the economic aspects. As you all know, our GDP as per 2022 of UK is like almost 3.1 trillion, whereas India is like 3.5 trillion. Okay, even looking at the size of it, you can understand how much of difference it is there. It's very, very negligible difference, but India is a very, very upcoming market and it's a very huge market. Now, from a revenue segment, if you look at UK, the strong revenue comes from financial services, creative industries, because there is a lot of fashion brands, fashion stuff that's happening. Biotechnology is very, very deep into their system. And if you ask me one particular industry or startup that makes the most amount of money here is fintechs, because they generate billions in revenue. In India, if you I was just wanted to compare and say so that you understand what is the difference there. India is majorly dominated, as you all know, by IT services, e-commerce, fintech, because fintech is also running large here. And if you look at what is the scenario here, is more of it's heavily driven by the domestic consumption and the digital finance ecosystems that we have. Now, from an investment and funding perspective, you might be thinking I'm giving a very glance. UK startups have been receiving almost like 12 billion up to 2020. By 2021, if you look at it, Indian startups are receiving up to 20 billion. Okay, so there is a huge change in that. Whereas, but it's a domestic venture capitalist that is actually trying, because there is a huge foreign direct investment happening in startups in UK. So that's what we could find, and that's the change or the different impacts that we could do. And the most important ecosystem is the innovation ecosystem, if you look at it. So as you see here, which has been explained. So they rank the top 5 across the globe. And I think that is one of the major things that we can observe. So in every company, every major MNC there has a budget that is kept apart for innovation. So that's what we have seen. If you take some of the companies like the Sainsbury's, or if you take Barclays Bank, which is one of the biggest banking systems, or Lloyd's Bank, they always have a portion of their revenue that's kept apart for specifically doing innovation and new product development. And that is one of the major areas startups and local boutique firms have been they approach them, and they take them as the part of it. Now, UK ranks the top 4th, is what I understand, and India ranks 46th in this particular activity. Now, that's what is the overall market that I can say. Now, coming into what is the different supports and ecosystem that you see. So why you should, because now you might be thinking why I should go to UK and invest in UK. There should be some reason behind it. You can always find some reasons in Google and stuff. You can also talk to people. But some of the reasons which I would put forward from what I understood, and what Hermer himself has gone through this. One of the biggest thing is the strong ecosystem for startups that they have. It's one of the best and the strong, I would say, across the world, because one is, if you look at it, their networking capability, the established capability, the numerous accelerators that's available, incubators available, co-working spaces available across London, and the methodology where government is involving in it. Especially, you see the 5th point, they give R&D tax credits for companies that is trying to innovate, research, do the development, and come out with certain activities or certain products or ecosystem that's required. And even there is a startup loan facility available by the government, which is for 6% that they give. And overall, within 6 years, you will have a 6-year turnout period to give back the money. So that's what is the major supports I can say, but there is a lot other supports what the government has been given. The second part of it is I would call out is the access to capital, especially the venture capital and angel investments that happens, because it's one of the I would say London especially is one of the Europe's leading hub for venture capital system. And we have a huge, UK has a huge funding options because they have a lot of crowdsourcing, government funding, innovation funding, which you will find it in the later slides which we have brought in. And another big reason why UK is gateway to Europe, because it's despite Brexit, even though Brexit has brought in a lot of issues, that's what we have found. But UK remains a significant gateway if you look at from the Europe market perspective, which provides companies with opportunities to expand and do a lot of trade with Europe, because they are like the center point. And another big advantage we have is the time zone, because the UK's time zone almost overlaps with all Asia and American time zones. So it's very smooth to do international business from UK. And from a workforce perspective, if you look at from the perspective of finance or technology or creative industry, you will see almost any kind of workforce. They're very skilled. And they have some of the world's leading universities, especially the LSE, the London School of Economics. You will get people from the economic side of it, business side of it, marketing side of it, who are one of the best, I would say. There are the Oxfords and the Cambridge. Almost every top ranked universities are present there, and there's a huge support from the accelerator system that they have. Every university have their own incubation and accelerator system that they're supporting for their alumni. And a huge cultural diversity. That's what is one thing which I observed in UK and around London, because you will see a diverse kind of population. You will see Indians, you will see Arabic, Persian, everyone there. And that actually provides your startups with a diverse pool and a global perspective is what we have seen, especially from a TCS startup perspective. That's something very different we could see. And it's a well-regulated environment. That's what is one thing which we could say, because it's a very business-friendly environment. It's very well regulated, so that startups can operate and grow. It's not like when a startup is operating, someone else comes and just takes away that their business and do it. It's not like that. It's a very even though it's very competitive, government gives a huge support to startup ecosystem, new company ecosystem, to grow and make sure that they are not eaten up by the bigger players. And the bigger players also value your entire contribution to that economy, is what we have seen. And there is a lot of collaboration that's possible, especially from an innovation angle. If you're looking for, that's what we have seen, because there is a lot of academic institutions, as earlier I told you. One of the two of the major institutions where Tata is a part of, or TCS is a part of, is Oxford, and we are also working with Imperial College. And another, from the arts perspective, we are integrated with RCA, which is Royal College of Arts. And that's how we work there. And we have a lot of collaboration with these universities in bringing in new products, new innovations and stuff. And another big aspect of it, or one of the major aspects of it, is the quality of life. Most of you might be knowing it's a very high standard of living is there, from the healthcare perspective, education perspective. Even though they have very excellent public services. Look, healthcare, when I say tertiary healthcare, I won't say it's primary and secondary healthcare is not that great, because to get an appointment, it's going to take a long time. But otherwise, from a tertiary and kind of after tertiary healthcare, it's one of the best countries to live for getting that kind of a support. And cultural and creative influence, because anywhere you walk around in London, you will see people so happy and they play some of the instruments and singing songs, and it's a very vibrant and conducive environment, is what we have seen in the UK perspective. So that's all about the ecosystem that is there in UK. And why, or you might be confused today why I should select this environment or not. Now, coming into what is the support government gives to all these kind of activities. So first is startup loans, I already told you. So they provide personal loans for each founder in your company up to 25K. It's 25K is almost like, I would say, 27, 28 lakhs here. And it's having a fixed interest rate of 6%. And it comes with a free business support. So they give you a lot of business tools, tools, when I say software tools, physical tools, then even networking, all those kind of things comes with that. And that's the, I would say, and they don't follow up just like that. It's like within 6 year period, you have to pay it back. That's one of the major, I'd say, cool support things which the system gives you. Second is the Innovate UK grants. And I would say this is one of the beauty which we have explored, and Inclusive has got a very small grant, but at least being a very new venture there, and from a social enterprise perspective, supporting the social cause of neurodivergent children and individuals, we could get a grant for developing one of the innovative products for that particular market. So that's one. So I'll just show you one example of site where, if you have more questions or something, if you want to look after that. So this is UK Research and Innovation website, UKRI. So you can go here and you can look for what is the eligibility for research and innovation funding. So it has been beautifully, the websites here are beautifully explained, and it's very easy to understand. And you will understand how the funding is happening. There is a cool funding that's going on, which we are trying to apply also, which is called the fellowship funding. And 80% of that, for example, if you are asking for 1 crore, 80% of the fund will be given by the government, and 20% you need to take it up. So if you have an idea as an individual, you wanted to take up a new initiative, this is something. Only thing is that you have to be in UK, or you have a company registered in UK. That's the eligibility criteria behind this. So that's some of the examples which I wanted to show you. And let's go back. Then coming into R&D tax credit, and I think this is very important, especially when you are risking certain things for a specific market. For example, you are trying, I'll give you an example where what TCS is trying, and especially from my team, what I'm trying to do in UK. So there is one of the biggest, look, as I told you, most of the services for the public are given by the government, and they take it from the taxes. The tax of this country is almost like 40% if you are earning above 1 crore in a year, or I would say 100K a year. So it's almost like 40% of your salary will be taken up by the government. But what government does with that is they give the proper education, they give the healthcare, they give the entire system for utilities, water, and everything. So we have a customer in TCS, which is, I cannot say the customer name, but at least they are in the side of wastewater management. So to give you an idea how the wastewater is managed in UK is, so for example, if you take London as a city, so the entire wastewater from London or from every house is collected through systems, sewage systems, and it goes to a centralized, 2, 3 centralized areas. Now, when this comes there, what happens is that this water has to be recycled. So recycling process is a very hectic process, if you ask me, and TCS is one of the software SCADA SLD providers for this entire ecosystem. So once the system goes through that, for example, when the water comes in, it has to be treated with certain chemicals. Once it has been treated with chemicals, it has to go through certain other osmosis and reverse osmosis process. And finally, you might be thinking this water is used for some other purpose. No, this water might be used for sprinklers in the gardens, especially public gardens like the Hyde Parks and all in parks in the UK. Otherwise, most of the water is actually pushed out into the ocean. And the reason why they make sure that this water is ocean friendly is because they do not want to affect the ecosystem of fish and other animals that live in the water, okay, or in the sea. So that is one reason. So sustainability and environment friendliness is a huge, I would say, ask to any startup that gets established in UK. So that this is like the ESG which we follow in India. Environment and social goals of the startup is really important when you start moving to UK, and that has to be taken care in any of the offerings that you go ahead with. So that is one. And when I was saying this particular thing, because one of the customers came to our lab asking, because there was a, as a wastewater is getting processed, especially during this festival season, the amount of waste is so high that it will take days to process this wastewater. The smell in this wastewater was so huge and intense that the customer was asking how to make sure that if the smell, because this is all automated, as you can think, it's nothing is human controlled here. So as the water comes in and it starts getting processed, the problem statement was to detect the smell of this wastewater and make sure that the processing happens multiple times, or multi latitude processing takes place. So this was the problem statement that came to us, and that was a research problem statement for us, because we have to identify the smell at multiple zones, find out what if that smell is not human friendly or it is bad for humans, because if it is a lot of ammonia and urea that's there in the surrounding area, that's a huge problem for the human beings, and that has to be taken care and that has to be processed. So we were asked to look into this problem and do the research. So that point of time, whatever amount that has been put for that particular research for this particular activity or the problem statement, that comes under the R&D tax relief. So that much amount of it doesn't go for or that percentage of taxes relieved by the government, because we are doing research, and only once the product is developed and given back to the customer, the taxation happens, or the VAT happens over it. I think more about VAT and all Harmer would be explaining. And there is this British business bank system that's already there. I'm not going very deep into it, but and various investment schemes that's available. Now, for Indians, the good news is that there is a global entrepreneur program that's available, which is specifically tailored for experienced business people, as you see here. So, and it is known as, because you will be connected with deal makers who are successful in establishing the activities there. I'm not able to show you because of this. This is the fellowship opportunity I've just kept open. I think this is the one which I wanted to show you. Entrepreneurs are great, and this is the global entrepreneurship program. Meet the deal maker team. So I can send across this document to you. So these are some of the deal makers in UK. So they will connect you to these deal makers, and they will help you to establish your startup program or your product program in UK. So the more details are available in the internet. I'm not going very deep into it, but if you need any information, we can share this one. So that's all about the global entrepreneurship program, and they are trying to expand, because UK government is trying to bring in as many companies as possible, as many innovations, research, and support systems and improve their economy. So there's a lot of focus on life sciences, ICT, biotechnology, and advanced engineering fields, if you ask me. It offers an ecosystem that provides, I think, more of like a strategic location. They can help you in also finding the right location and stuff. And that's the activities. Okay. Now coming into, I think registration and starting. I think this is one of the major questions you will have in your mind: where to start and how to go ahead. So I think here I will ask Hermer to explain because he's the best person. He has been doing this activity for years. He has been supporting several startups, and we have been doing this together for a long period of time. Over to you, Hermer, on this.
Thank you, Robin. Well, registering and starting a UK company is actually to register a company is really easy. It is done through HMRC. The company's house, and the company's house HMRC. HMRC is for the taxation, VAT, and PAYE. That is for payroll. All these portals are really great, and it is really easy to understand and operate. Well, to start up a company, to register a company, we need to go to the the company's house, and it is really easy to register there. And the thing is that the register, the company owner should have an address. It can be a residential address or an office address. It doesn't matter. And director can be from it can be an overseas address, or the director should have a UK address. The shareholders can be from any part of the world. It's not an issue. The thing is, the challenge is when we open a business bank account. So I will explain that later on. And banking and finance, it is easy to open an account in an online banking like a Tide or a Starling Bank in the UK. um, but it is a bit difficult to get a bank account in nationalized banks like Barclays or HSBC or Lloyd's. It takes some time, but the startups normally, open an account with online bank, and then after maybe after 3 or 4 months, they switch to the nationalized banks. Visas and immigration, as an Indian entrepreneur, the best way to get into UK is through Innovator Founder Visa. Innovator Founder Visa is a renewed kind of visa. They had Startup Visa and also Innovator Visa before. Startup Visa is now cancelled last year, and now the new visa is called Innovator Founder Visa. That is for 3 years. To apply through to get that visa is to get an endorsement from one of the three endorsement bodies under UK Home Office. Earlier, there were around 64, 65 endorsement bodies, and now they have cancelled around 62, and now only three are there. And it's a bit tough to get the endorsement, but it is not difficult to. When I applied in 2020 for startup visa, it was a bit tough, but I was lucky to get the endorsement from one of the best endorsement body. And well, to qualify for the Innovator Founder Visa, your business plan should be innovative, it should be viable, and it should be scalable. Earlier, there was a requirement of 50K investment. Now, we don't actually need 50K. We just need to show the endorsement body that you can run the business even with the 10K or 15K or whatever. Or if it is a development, if it is a big project, then you have to show that much money in the overseas bank or through an investor in the UK. Compliance and insurance, everything is really easy. Easy in the sense, well, we got a lot of insurance agencies there, and also wherein you can get all the business insurances like professional indemnity insurance and employer liability insurance and all that. And these are the brief explanation on how to register and starting UK company. And you know, I actually hold an innovator founder visa. So as I said, it is for actually 3 years, and it is really easy to get a PR after 3 years if we if we met two criterias out of 7 criterias. I will come to that later on. Those who are interested in innovator founder visa, we can have a different session for that. And because the criterias 7 criterias are to be explained in detail. And so uh, these are the processes for registering and starting a UK business. Robin.
Thank you so much, Harmer. So here, I think one thing to just stress is to make sure that you are there to all the compliance and insurance, especially when it comes to the data security, data privacy, GDPR, and professional indemnity. Because if you are into a service business, if you're trying to establish a service business from here there, from India, you're bringing a service business there, you have to make sure that there is a professional indemnity insurance, because service businesses like law, like solicitors, like the IT and all, there can be chances that the other company is suing you, and legal costs are very exorbitant in UK. It's not like India, it's very, very exorbitant. So you have to be making sure that you have necessary insurances and compliances met for that. Now, coming into some of the opportunities, you might be thinking, where is the opportunity in UK? So here are some of them which we have captured. So some of them includes one of the major areas is like IT and software services, because all this is captured keeping in mind Kerala and the strong infrastructure and the talent pool that we have, and also the great startups which Kerala has contributed to the larger economy and the larger ecosystem. So this is something where people are lacking. If you look at the UK market, it's majorly Indians who are into the IT part of it. Rather than Indians, others are like Europeans, people from Romania, you'll see people from Hungary, Poland, who are the major contributors to the IT industry or the software services industry. And Philippines. Now, Philippines and Vietnamese are also into this segment. Now, second major area segment is healthcare. As you all know, majority of Keralites, we are the major supporting infrastructure for UK from a healthcare perspective. Okay, and most of the social work kind of activities, nurses, a lot of doctors are coming from India. So there is a huge, robust, I would say, healthcare system UK has, and we are the major. I would say we are so proud to see a lot of Indians there in this particular segment, and we have seen a lot of Gujus, which is the Gujaratis, the Marwadis, which is from Maharashtra, and also Keralites in the segment. But Keralites rule the segment of healthcare. And there is a huge opportunity in the renewable energy and sustainability, as I already told in earlier segment, because the government gives a huge push for the sustainability, and they offer a lot of subsidies for startups and companies in the solar energy segment, especially waste management. If you have an idea in the segment of, there is a Innovate UK call that is currently going on for for making plastic products, which is biodegradable plastic products for major companies, because it's a huge opportunity there, because all the products that being sold by any retail, like the Sainsbury's or the Tesco's or Lidl's there, has to be recyclable or biodegradable. So they're looking for industries who can contribute to that, startups who can contribute to that. Consumer health, fintech, as I told you, that's the major. London is known for the fintech industry. Then education and edutech is another huge area where you can contribute. And just to give you a glance on education, okay, before I move into that, you should understand that there are many of the services is provided by the UK government directly or from the UK government funds. So if you take healthcare, healthcare is completely owned by the UK government, even though there are some private players, they're very, very small in number. So one of the major things, the healthcare, if you ask me, is NHS. That is a national health system, health services system that they have. So they own the healthcare services, including the hospitals, the doctors, specialists, dentistry, and everything that is. And it is funded through their taxation. and it accounts to almost 6.4% of UK GDP. Okay, so that is almost like I think 140 billion pound is what UK is investing in the healthcare part of it. Now, coming into the education is another segment where UK government is funding. So that is also like 140 billion, which is considered almost one, I think almost two or three. No, sorry, it's almost 3% of GDP. And if you look at India, Indian budget is only 0.4% of the GDP, which is set apart for education, and only 1% of the GDP is set apart for healthcare. So this is the amount. This is a very huge amount if you look. UK government is funding for, especially for the education and the healthcare segment. And the third major segment which we have seen is the social services, and that's where inclusives comes in, specifically for welfare, pension services, job seekers, providing support for the specially abled society, elderly society and stuff. And fourth segment is transportation, where government is funding and putting up new transportation, for example, road networks, rail networks, public transportation and stuff. Then I think it is majorly they are trying to push a lot of fund for public safety, emergencies. Art and culture is very common there, and there is a lot of fund that is being used for that, especially for museums. Some of the best museums in the world, like the British Museum, National History Museum, comes they come from this country and is situated in and around London. And you will see a lot of cultural museums that's happening. So there is a lot of libraries, media, and also support for a lot of sports, as most of you know, the UEFA and all happens there. So there is a lot of especially Tata Communications. If you see, there is a huge innovation Tata Communication does for many of these sports events that happens there. And I would say science and research is there, environment, because they are also trying to fund a lot for the environment related activities. And assistive is not a very huge market, but there is a market for that too. And that is where we try to play as a small player from inclusives and stuff. So, and there is food and agri market that's present. Now, I think someone was asking about the accelerators. These are the major accelerators. I've not covered everything because it's a very huge session if you need it. One of the best and the most renowned accelerators is the Techstars London. So they give you financial investment. They support you with 3-month mentorship, office space, especially give you something called the British cultural learning. So how to approach for business, how to build relationship, because that's a very important part in the British ecosystem. So building the relationship is not that easy. So that is something that that is supported by Techstars, and Techstars, along with I would say Barclays, is running a huge accelerator program, especially if you want to do some kind of a financial related startup. Seedcamp is another accelerator for early stage funding and stuff for building products, and they will also help in larger fundings later on, especially angel investments and stuff. And Bethanel Green is specifically focused on green related or sustainability related or green related initiatives. So that's what we have in this. Now, there's a very specific ecosystem in UK which is called the Catapult program. So Catapult program is specifically for supporting sectoral challenges. So because TCS works a lot with the digital catapult and the satellite applications catapult. Now, the reason is because, for example, developing VR, virtual reality, artificial intelligence related applications, which are next generation applications, Catapult will give you the entire facility for it, because the latest machinery, for example, we have a lot of 5G projects happening from a Tata perspective in UK. So all the basic machinery for, if you see the network, the underground of UK or London. I'm not so sorry for saying UK, it is London. So the underground of London is completely on 5G network, and the entire communication happens automated. Okay, the entire signaling system and stuff. So there is a huge research happening on how the signal loss can be eliminated, how the entire system can be so foolproof, how the negotiations or the data negotiations can happen in such a way that the lost signal can be found back, because a second delay will result in hours of delay. A second delay in the data will result in hours of delay in the entire network of that traffic system. Because you should think it in such a way that in a London Underground, it is like every 10 minutes you have a train that's going on, and every 5 minutes you will have the reverse train that's coming in. So any small issues that happens in between gets a huge delay in that network and the entire tunneling and the signaling system. So there is a huge research happening, and that comes under the transport systems catapult. And high value manufacturing, if you are interested in emerging manufacturing methodologies, especially from the perspective, because GSK is one of the major life sciences industry, and they concentrate a lot on manufacturing. One of the major products of GSK, which we all use, is the Sensodyne, which comes under a different company of GSK, which is called Helion, which very recently they started. But at least GSK is a very huge company where they are concentrating on new manufacturing techniques, and they are looking for people to collaborate with. Cell and gene therapy, medicines, energy systems, connected places. There is a huge catapult system which will help you to drive your research, innovation, and bring in new products into that market. Now, as I told earlier, your regulation is very important and compliance is important. So I think this over to you, Hermer, for just explaining on the certain compliances that we should follow.
Thanks, Robin.
Hermer, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have, as I explained to you before, regarding the business registration and the other processes. Well, the company's house registration and data protection registration is actually relatively is really easy, but the other part is like going for an ISO, or that will take some time. ISO 27001, that is for data protection and all that. That will take some time, but for a startup, it is not that necessary if you're in a development stage. When you implement your product, that is required. So till that time, you can run with the with the data protection registration. That is easy. And taxation and financial compliances like VAT registration, corporation tax, and PAYE, it is also not that tough to get registered. It can be done through HMRC website, and it is easy to understand. For the VAT, if you cross 85K in revenue, you need to register for VAT. For corporation tax, it will be, you will get a corporation tax registration number when you get registered in company's house. The PAYE, when you employ someone, if you want to give salary, you need to register for PAYE. It will take around 2 to 3 weeks to get that number. And either you can do the payroll, or you can give it to an accountant. It is better to give it to an UK based accountant, because they know more about the taxation and things like that. So it will be easier if you can give it to them. The cost wise, you will get different cost from different accountants. Some people might charge around £5 for payslip. Some people, some they charge £10 to £15. It depends on the accountants. And for other compliances, it is better to go through get an advice through a solicitor, and the cost depends on it might be 4 per hour, or it might be actually in UK there is no fixed price. Different people have different prices. You'll get a low price and also higher price. It depends on we need to ask and inquire with the different accountants and solicitors for prices and all that. Well, we can guide you in that if you need our assistance. Product safety and standards also, if you want to take this ISO and what do you say, the patent and all that. It is I think regarding patent and all that, Robin can explain that in detail. And specific industrial regulations, environment compliances, all should be met when you do a startup, or if you start up a business in the UK. We can guide you that in that in later on. Yeah, over to you, Robin.
Thanks, Hermer. I think that's all about it, especially from an industry regulation perspective. If you want to bring in any Ayurveda related products or something that you have researched, only thing is that you have to get through the like similar to FCA guidelines. There is a specific guidelines and the certifications that you need to take, and the compliance has to be met. So I think that's the compliance part of it, and cultural part of it. You might be thinking how things happen in UK. UK is very slow from a decision making perspective. It involves several layers of the organization. So patience is very important for us to get. Nothing will happen on day one. So it will take 3 to 6 months to 8 months to get some decisions done. But they will surely help you in through that process where we went wrong, what is the how we need to go ahead. And that's the beauty of any applications or any communication that we have in UK, how to improve and all those kind of stuff. Communication style, it's very reserved and understated, so directness is something that they appreciate. And there is a chamber of commerce from a networking perspective where you can always meet business leaders and entrepreneurs, and they'll give you a lot of advice and how local business regulations needs to be met. And a lot of industry events happen in and around UK. I think every day there is events happening, and there's a potential to meet vendors and investors in that. I think that's all about what we wanted to share about our experience. There's a lot of things that I think it's available in Google and stuff which you can go through. Others can also give you some inputs, but this is what from our experience, what we have started there from a social enterprise perspective and a private ecosystem perspective that we have done. We are open for questions. Shall we take the questions from the?
Yeah.
I think, Robin, I
Yeah.
think we can answer these questions one by one, which is in the Q&A. Then maybe if needed, we can open up mic.
Yeah. We'll start with Vimal Kumar's question regarding Innovator Founder Visa and Global Entrepreneurship Program. Global Entrepreneurship Program is already explained by Robin. If you need more details, we can share the links. Innovator Founder Visa, as I said, it is through a three endorsement body. One of the endorsement bodies should endorse you for the business, and once it is endorsed, it is really easy to get a visa. But to get an endorsement is a bit tough. But you have luck, and also if your business is very innovative, there is a chance of getting through. And it is the best, one of the best visa to get into the UK, because you can work in Innovator Founder Visa and also can do the business. And after 3 years you can apply for PR uh, when you are able to achieve 2 criteria out of 7 criteria. And as I said, I can explain that criteria later on in the next session. And yeah, these are Innovator Founder and Global Entrepreneurship Program. uh,
I think how can you support edtech and media business? Look, we have to understand what is the kind of edtech
yeah
product that you have, and what is the kind of what is actual media business? Because media, when you say that it has multiple angles. It can be the public media, or it can be even related to what do you say, radio and all those kind of stuff. We have to see what is the kind of business and what is the opportunity, and then we can map. For sure, we can support that because we have a good base, specifically now in London and in and around there. So that's always there. Sujit,
for
it would be okay. I think the screen is painted very small.
yeah Robin, I just need to tell about
Yeah,
edtech.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rajan, this edtech actually, it depends on what product or service you're selling. Well, if you want to sell an ERP to a school, it is actually required in the UK, because most of the schools in the UK, well, when we look from here, we see that we might think that it is more advanced, but it is not. They don't have ERPs there. Most of the schools there run with different softwares. So for ERP, there is really a great space and opportunity. If you want to try that, you can. And media business, as said by Robin, I'm not that I don't have much experience in that. I think Robin will be able to say something about that.
Yeah, I think that we have to evaluate what kind of media business that is there from the
Yeah.
perspective of market, because media has a lot of significance, because media, it depends on what you want to do in London from a media perspective, because
Mhm.
it's very cultural focused. And there are a lot of Keralites who are doing media business there, and it's
Yeah.
growing well too. We know that. Now, coming into startup loan, whether it is a moratorium for 6 years, Look, it is a bit tricky here, Sujit. So if you ask me about what I have read, because we were also trying for this one, so it's a bit tricky. So you have to approach the bank. Some banks give you a moratorium. Some banks would say they need a payment every year, kind of based on, because it depends on how much money you are making, and against because they have an overview, because whatever money you make in your business is completely visible for everyone in UK, especially the banks. So they know that, and based on that only they'll ask you to pay. And there is a lot of flexibility in that, and it's not like you have to pay everything in every year format and all those kind of. You can also propose, okay, this is the kind of business you are using it for this, and based on which they will give you a flexible plan, because it's one of their government ask that you have to start up like the Mudra loan in India. But it's not like exactly like that here. There is a lot of flexibility around it, because the government has asked you have to support local business and support people who are coming up with ideas. That's the reason why this loan has been, and it's a government supported loan. Okay, it comes from the Bank of England, rather than here it's not. If you look at India, it's given away by the SBIs or something like that, not the Reserve Bank directly. So here it's not like that. It's a Bank of England amount that comes in, and that's being distributed by government of the UK. Now, what are the three mistakes to avoid to entering UK market? And okay, so I would say without a proper visa, don't go to the UK market and try to look. If you are trying to establish something from here for the name of a startup there and say that I have a London address, okay, well and good, but I don't know what is going to happen with that. But that's a different point. It's your point of view, POV, that you have to first discover, and what is your strategy in entering into UK market. So first is always have the proper visa and have do all the registrations and compliances. Don't try to just put a company up there and then go ahead, because all this information is available to everyone who looks for your company. The first thing a customer does is that they'll come to company's house, look for you, they look at your revenue, they look who are the managing directors, what you have been doing. All this information is available for all the companies there. So your customers have access to all this data, and it's very very open, and you have to make sure that everything is happening and you are following the compliance. And even the insurances, you take all the necessary insurance, because customers expect that to do, because at some point of time it means that if you're not taking the necessary insurance, then it means that you don't know how the UK market works. That's the reason why the people evaluate you based on that. And another thing is, don't enter for the sake of entry. Okay, because it's the market is not market is huge. It's not that it's not huge, but something in UK market, the thing that we have seen, Harmer can also say, is the easiness for expanding your market to European, especially Dubai-based countries, because there is a huge potential for any kind of a product that if you have developed through the UK market and then you bring it to Dubai, there's a lot of people who will support you, and there is a lot of chances that you can get the Tigers investment, because I know a lot of Keralites in the education segment, if you ask me, who have got more than 100 million investment through multiple investors and startups. Okay, startup investors and accelerators. So it's a piece of cake to get into that kind of a journey if you are properly established there. So I would say that some of the things, and always have, if you are trying to capture the market there, always have your sales team uh, a British citizen, someone, because they understand the culture, how to connect, how to go into the ecosystem and look for opportunities rather than others, because it's there is always a cultural issue there that we have seen. Okay, now would you please deep dive into SEIS and EIS? We will come back on that, because that's a very specific area, especially from the entrepreneur's perspective, and that's a kind of support government gives. If you have any doubts, we will always come into that. Aravind, your this edtech startup companies in UK, huge opportunity, because there is a lot of universities trying to collaborate with. Look, it's a India UK India kind of an opportunity. If you want to read more about this, just go to Jain University, okay, and just read about it. You will understand how the system works. So they are one of the, I would say, examples you can follow from the edtech part of it, and they are the pioneers in that. Okay, so we can talk about it, how that works. Hebben, can we get into an accelerator with business visa and join any network? Yeah, that's always possible, because accelerators, again, getting into accelerator, it's not just going there and getting into it. You have to apply for the accelerator program, and you should show that your startup is already there in UK. None of the accelerators would accept you because you are coming from India and without an establishment in UK. You should have an establishment in UK. That's what we have seen. Hari Estrado, instead of directly entering, like opening a branch there, what is the possibilities of startups like ours pitching our ERB and here? For example, we have multiple partners, especially in Southeast Asia and this one. But in UK, we found it difficult to enter. I would say find a partner there and enter is what I would say. There is a lot of
Yes.
partners you can get from UK. That is something you can always do, especially from virtual learning platform perspective and all. There is a lot of opportunity. You have to see what is the kind of opportunity, where is that opportunity, and then pitch it to people who are already established there. They will help you in entering into the market, but you might have to do the white labeling, or you might have to do whatever profit sharing kind of stuff with them. And the entry would be like that. I don't know more about it, but people are doing that. We know several startups doing that kind of an activity. Now, Brijesh, I think it will be great if you can share a pathway to establishing a startup. I think we have shared that as of now. What is the major activities? The visa is one criteria. Then moving in, before moving, you should have the right visa. Then you should have an entity. You should have all the registrations done. Third, compliances, basic compliances should be met, like the payee registration, HMRC registration, and stuff. Then you go there, and then if you have a fund, you want to start looking for a fund, you have to find out, okay, who is the right person who can give you. There's a lot of funding agencies, you have to apply for that. Then Innovate UK is the best place to apply for some of the funds. Then look for your problem, whether that problem is existing in UK or not, because not every problem in India exists in UK. So that is something that you have to go into the ground and understand. There's a lot of agencies that would help for it. As I told you, the catapults are one of the such kind of agency. And for each and everything, for example, if you're trying to solve a problem for the blind people, there is something called Royal National Institute of Blind, which is called the RNIB. RNIB is the inventors behind the Alexa's voice. Okay, I don't know how many of you know that. So the such kind of innovations were done by them. Now that has been actually royalty has been given to Alexa, and Alexa is now completely owned it, but the royalty amount goes to RNIB. Such innovations are done by these kind of people. So there is a Care UK, there is RNIB, then there is for hearing embed, there is a, so everything has a community, everything has an apex body. So they will help you to enter into the market. Education has a several apex bodies for edutech kind of activities. When we offer tech solutions, Vimal, can you suggest some endorsement bodies? I think already Herman has taken it up. Nishant, when we offer tech solutions for a clinic, is there any approvals to be taken? Nishant, I think yes, because it depends on what is the kind of solution. If it's something that is actually touching the human body, then certain approvals are there, depending on the kind of uh, touch and feel, or if it is going to be immersed and all, you'll have to take FDA approvals and all. FDA approvals are something that is taken care. If it is touching the body, if it is not, if it's just a software, then you will have to take ISO related certifications, especially 13,485, 22,001, which Hermes has earlier mentioned. And if you have a hardware, then you have to go for UK CA certification and CE markings for that. So these are the base, and ROHS. ROHS is necessary for those. Mithun, as an IT service looking for acquire customers in UK, any advice on how to approach the market? Within the market is huge. If you ask me how to approach the market, you can start it from anywhere, because everyone has money there. Every customer has money. Now it depends on whether they need to spend it or not, is a $1 million question. So it depends on how you establish your connect there. So you have to always come through a channel and then start establishing there. But there's a huge market, and I am pretty sure you will make millions of dollars in that market. Then Santosh, what would be a SaaS multi? I think single startup products, without having a single startup product, SaaS multiple products and IT service, also dried food items. Yes, because I told you there is a huge population, huge diversity that's happening in UK now. So any product that comes in can be adopted, and it will be a part of their ecosystem. So it depends on how you market it, where all you try. Like, it's the distribution system is almost similar to Indian or Kerala distribution systems there, if you are trying to bring such kind of products. But yes, it is there. SaaS multiple products, I've already answered. There is opportunity, but you have to find out through which channels you need to enter. Good endorsement body, yes, for sure. Herman and myself, we can do that, Vimal. Dolly, how do you give assistive tech business? One minute. How is there some special schemes and acceleration programs? I'm working on autism. Look, Dolly, autism is a very specific area which I also work with. Let us discuss. Only thing is that compliance is very important. You cannot just approach a autistic child just like in India. because they are completely managed through councils there, and parents are very reluctant because of the GDPR and all those kind. But there is opportunity. Autism, there is a lot of opportunities we can discuss on that. MK Swaminathan, opportunity for the field of robotics and industrial automation, pretty good, very good, because one of the biggest automation happens there. And if you travel through UK itself, you'll see big Amazon warehouses, and big huge warehouses for the different things, which is completely operated through robotic automation. So there is a huge opportunity there. Industrial automation is there, depending on what is the kind of product that you are trying to enter into, especially pick and place, because TCS itself has a huge something called a pal picker, which you can always Google out. It is one of the biggest markets for pal picker. TCS is one of the biggest markets, and TCS itself is managing one of the, Jaguar Land Rover is under us now, Tata. So we manage the entire production line. There is a huge opportunity for robotics and industrial automation there. Now, robot edutech firm specializing in processing education credit. UK is one of the key markets, and you would like to explore. Okay, I think we'll discuss on this because I cannot say something about the credit facility and stuff. I'm not much better in that. Hermer, do you know something on that? I
No, Robin, I'm sorry.
will come back on that.
We can get
Let
more
us.
details on that later on. If they need assistance, we can,
Yeah. You just connect us on LinkedIn. Whenever you
Yeah.
need support, we will surely provide that. How about
Yes.
fintech SaaS market in UK? Awesome. I would say, because fintech, anything that comes in UK, there is a market there, but it depends on how you are going to attack that market. There's a lot of opportunity in that part of it. So I think I should not even talk about that, because I've seen a lot of market potential and opportunity there. Kevin, can you please suggest some insight on insurances that needs to be taken? I
Yeah.
already told about the insurances, Hebin. One is the personal indemnity insurance is required. Then disaster recovery insurance is required. Even though there is no disaster going to happen today or tomorrow, but you should take that insurance, because there was a fire, you might remember, in the 2000s, 1980s or 2000, I don't know, Hermer, that time,
Yeah.
where there was a huge fire in London, and almost many of the churches and all got turned out, I would say, burned out because of that fire. And there can be chances, because the Thames River is just the same level of that land. So insurances are necessary, and you have to make sure you have taken the insurance, because without insurances, you cannot survive there if you have put into a legal indemnity. I am an IT recruitment and staffing solution. How do you see market? Yes, awesome. I would say, Chitra, it's one of the best markets for IT now, because we are coming back. UK is coming back on the IT part of it, because there is, as you know, UK is going through, even it's not completely recovered from the issues currently that is being faced, Brexits and stuff. But we see that there might be a stable government that might come in the next 2 to 3 months. So there is a huge opportunity for IT, and IT spending is very high for every company, especially the banking segments. If you look at the banking segments, there is a huge spending that's happening. But it depends on what and how, and there is a lot of opportunity there. Okay. I am into art and fashion, doing online. Any luck? Yes, Priya. Art and fashion. I would say you are in the right hub. London. London is the best place for it. Okay. So you will see any kind of art and fashion that gets sold there, and even certain times. I visited multiple stores. I didn't understand what is that, but it costs like anything, and people buy it, just like buy it. So you'll see every fashion industry there, every fashion industry of the French, French or the Japanese or everything is accepted there. That's the peculiarity of that market, or the people are used to fashion. Okay. And what do you think about IoT solutions? You have to be very specific. I don't know much about what is your product, Anjanath. Then only we can discuss on that. Nishan, the health informatics. Yes, health informatics has a lot of potential, especially if you integrate it with the NHS. I think Mentor Merlin is the right team. Hermer and his team is the right people to help you out, Nishant. Here, he has a lot of ideas in this, how we can get it through. Ayurvedic soap, yes, provided that soap has all the kind of approvals, Abdul. From the perspective of, as I told you, there are certain compliances to be met from a soap perspective, especially skin reaction, allergic reaction. All those certifications have to be done, and certain times you might have to do the UKCA certification. I don't know exactly, but I'm just saying it. You have to look for what is the right certifications. Okay, we can connect you to the right attorneys to help you in doing that. Do you need to look for entire compliances as a startup? No. Nothing is like everything has to be done on day one. I would say it's like, at least basically you should have the, what was that thing, Hermer, with we have to do for data privacy? That is one certification, one compliance that we need to meet. No.
That is for, well, we tried We actually register when we register a company in the UK. The first thing, if it is a if it is a any technological product or services, we need to apply through ISO. That is information technology or something. I forgot the the full form of it.
ICO,
Uh,
ICO. You're
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
ICO.
yeah.
Data
Information.
privacy ICO.
Yeah, just register with that, and then that will be enough for a startup. Then later on, you need to go for ISO 27001. It
Yeah,
will
but
take
that is
some.
on the, I think that can take time. That's
Yeah, it
okay.
will
No.
take 3 to 6 months to get
Yeah.
ISO 27001.
But that is
So
okay. ISO, I think it's okay. But at least basically they should get this ICOs, the data privacy compliance.
yeah,
That is mandatory because data privacy from GDPR perspective, everything, and you have to assign a data protection officer from your side.
yes,
You can sit
yes,
anywhere in the world, but you should have that. That is mandatory for every company that gets started in UK.
yes,
What I views on cybersecurity, good industry, especially from banking, insurance, fintech is there. So you have a lot of opportunity. Depends on what is the kind of cybersecurity services that you provide. Anup. So I think that has to be discussed more. Vimal, how about startups in assistive tech for AMLS in vehicles? Look, if you're thinking for mobility related products, Vimal, it is one of the biggest if you ask me, it's one of the biggest manufacturing segments there. Not big, huge market because I have not seen much of a market for that kind of stuff. But there is a huge manufacturing support that they can give you in that, and that is something that can be consumed by the entire Europe later. So that's a huge potential that that's what Vimal I can answer. But I have to see what is your product, then only we can say. Swaminathan, agricultural technology, yes, because they are trying to drive as much as possibilities for agri segment and provide agri tech kind of support. If you have a very specific technology that can be pushed in this segment, yes, that is possible. And for satellites also, Swaminathan, it's possible, yes. Vaishnav, how can we apply for ICO? Yes. ICOS. I think we will have to do it as a separate session, yeah, Vaishnav, because that's a bit more detailed kind of an activity. I don't think so. I will do justice in the small time. Me myself and Harma will not be able to explain that much in that small time, but we can do that separately, sure. If you are interested, you guys are interested, because this is a very opening up session for you guys to enter into the market. What you should look for, because I think most of you are going to travel for the London Tech Week and the AI stuff. So this is a very entry level activities that we have. So I don't know what you are looking for in that market, but see London, enjoy UK, and then make a decision on what you need to do next. Then we can meet, and if you are further proceeding with um, your passion to open up your systems there and ecosystem there in London, we can surely help you out.
Yeah. Uh, any questions from the attendees? I think if there is no, we can wind up.
Just one last question, Robin. Yeah, hi. Uh,
I will.
so since we are taking about 7 startups for the London Tech Week, do you have any specific instructions or guidance to be given to them? What need to be explored, or something that they should not miss during this time when they are in London?
Few things that comes to my mind is you should look around in London. One of the biggest thing is the diversity and inclusion. Okay, if you are based in London, make sure that you explore London, not only as a tourist, but all these your startup and your market in mind. You can see there is a huge diversity and inclusion. And if you are from a retail perspective, go to the stores, all the stores. They have a very specific footprint with which the store looks like and how the products are being placed there. What are the products missing in those stores? Because if you can go to Sainsbury's, if you can go to the Tesco's itself will have multiple types of stores. Okay, bigger Tesco Extra, which is the biggest Tesco stores there, and small Tesco's are there, very small, tiny ones. So go to both these stores, try to understand how they are doing their marketing and branding of the items that is placed in that. And third aspect of it is, I would say, if possible, I don't know whether you can get an access to the data, the accelerate, the catapult, which is actually in King's Cross, St Pancras, near to that station, which is in central London. If you can get an access to that catapult, that would be great, because they can show you what are the latest 5G and what is actually happening from a London market perspective, why it is important and kind of. Otherwise, talk to people. That's what I would say, especially when you go there, do the networking, talk to people, understand the British culture, because they are a bit reserved, but there's a huge potential for business there. And the biggest thing is that they will support you in if they find it interesting, and if they find it's very important for the economy, they will hugely highly support this kind of initiatives. And also, before going, just look at the Innovate UK website, okay, and see what are the kind of fundings available, so that you get an idea on what is the fundings and stuff. Go to Indian supermarkets, especially places like Wembley. Okay, Wembley will have Hermer actually lives there in Wembley, and the very latest UEFA finals happened in the Wembley Stadium, which is very near to us. I stay in Harrow, and Hermer stays in Wembley. Wembley has a lot of Indian stores. Go to some of the Indian stores and find out, okay, because some people were asking about agricultural products and dried products. See what is the kind of products there. Just talk to them. They will give you some kind of pointers, because it's all when you see people, talk to them, and they will talk to you. Some of them might not look at you, because that's a different story. But don't get disappointed. Just go ahead and talk and get the things clarified as much as possible.
All right. So requesting both of you if you can also share your email IDs, if that is okay.
It's
But I
okay.
think it are.
My LinkedIn, you can always
All right.
communicate me on
Okay.
LinkedIn is there. Everyone, you can just add me. Any
Sure.
questions I'll answer in LinkedIn. Hermer, you can also put your LinkedIn this one.
Yeah.
But we are available. Okay. Whenever you have any questions, just put it up. We might take some time to answer, but for sure we will come back to you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Robin and Hermer. Back to Agosh. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are a few more queries in that chat. If you can quickly answer that, it will be we can quickly wind up the session.
Varun, can you share my details with Lodi?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. Yeah.
Abdul, could you please share? Yeah, Abdul, I think Varun will share those details.
Yeah, I will. I'll do that.
Thanks, Swami.
Yeah, thank you, Hermer and Robin, for for sharing your valuable insights regarding the UK markets and how we can collaborate and how the startups can be helpful for and you can assist for the startups in the UK market. And I think some of the key points I have just noted that regarding the government supports which is given by the UK government and the innovation grants and kind of global entrepreneurship program which is supported by the government and the institutions in the UK. And I think the startups who are planning to expand their business to the UK market would be definitely they can definitely go through these kind of schemes and assistance from you guys, and definitely it would be helpful for the startups and they can nurture their business in the overseas market. And some of the key points the startups had to they have to be keep in mind regarding the UK compliance regulatory frameworks and kind of steps they have to go through, and definitely the startups get a good business from the UK market, definitely. And thank you, Hermer and Robin, and thank you for your
Before we close,
assistance.
I just have one more input. Just one
Yeah,
more input before we
yeah,
close for everyone who are going
okay,
to UK, the companies. Just travel through the underground. Okay. So the trains that is in the underground train, just get into that. It's like the metro here. Just look at all the ads that is placed inside. You will get fascinated by the way in which they market their product. And it is something a huge learning, especially for us on how to market it. Because I saw Ajay was there in this session. So there is a huge opportunity for how the advertisement industry in UK works and what are they concentrating on. It's a bit different. The psychology, they always concentrate on how the psychopathology aspects of advertisement. So that's a very huge game changer the way, because I saw one of the Bible app ad in UK trains. It is one of the best ads which I have ever seen till date. So just have a look in wherever there is an ad, look at it, take a photo of it. That will actually coming back. You can always implement some good ideas behind that. Yes.
okay. Okay.
Thank you, team. We have already taken extra 30 minutes. Sorry
No
for that.
issues. And
And
attendees, if there is
we-
any queries regarding that, you can directly connect Helmer and Robin via LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Definitely, they will reply for your queries. And thank you all who
Thanks,
has
everyone.
attended the meeting. Yeah, thank you.
take
Thanks,
care.
everyone.
Have a great day.